Okay.
And at the end.
And at the end, I was getting there. And at the end, you say your name.
Well, I remember one day I had decided to go to the mall with one of my friends. And when we went out, my family decided to go to my aunt's house without me. And it was super gloomy, and I was like, yo, mommy, like, you wanna come pick me up and come take me with you? Because the issue is that like for maybe 6 months, I had been battling a very bad depression. And I didn't want to be alone, and I was very afraid of being alone because then I felt like I'd have to basically be honest with myself and admit that I was a sad person. So basically my mom was like, you got money for the bus? And I was just like, no. And she was just like, well, you ain't going nowhere, go home. So I ended up taking the bus to go home, and after that, I was home by myself. It was gloomy outside, it was dark, it was raining, and I felt super, super depressed. So basically I got under my sheets and I started bawling my eyes out, and I was like, God, like, I don't understand why you let me go through this. I don't understand why you chose me to go through this. I've been nothing but good and faithful to you, and now all of a sudden you're letting me be super sad, you're letting me be depressed, and I feel alone. So then it got to the point where I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna kill myself. So I went downstairs, I took this big old butcher knife and I took it up to my bed, and I was like, okay, God, I'm gonna kill myself. I'm gonna do this because I literally cannot deal with feeling sad and feeling like a terrible person every single day when I wake up and when I go to sleep. So I try to take the knife and I try to put it to my wrist, but because I'm a chicken, I was like, I love my skin way too much. So I was like, Lord, not this way. So I put the knife back, because also I'm a sucker, I hate pain. So I went back to my room and I just started bawling my eyes out again. I was really, really crying. And then I decided to put a status on Facebook, something about like, why God or whatever. And of course this guy like commented beneath, and he was just like, yeah, you know, I'm feeling the same way. And to me, that was kind of affirmation that, you know what, why not kill myself? I mean, I might as well. Like, nobody's gonna miss me. Nobody's gonna remember. Like, you know, I would rather be okay with being dead and out of this pain than like consistently feeling terrible. So it got to the point that like I'm sitting there, I'm bawling my eyes out, and then I just screamed at God, and I was like, God, let me die. I was like, just let me go to sleep and let me die. Like, seriously, I'll be okay if you do that. And literally, I heard like the smallest voice ever, and he was like, if you close your eyes, you will not wake back up. And I was just like, okay. So it literally got to the point that I felt my body without my doing it. I felt my body, like my eyes beginning to just shut. And then it literally got to the point where something, I kid you not, it felt like a physical force, but I knew I was the only one in the room. It felt like something was just like, no. And it got to the point where I was just like, I actually had a minute to really think, not even a minute, but maybe like 10 seconds to think, what are you doing? And literally at that moment, I was like, no. I was like, no, God, I do not want to die. And it's crazy because I picked up the remote and my TV was just automatically on Touched by an Angel. And then the episode was when the devil was tempting Monica to like jump off the cliff, to give up on God, everything. And then I watched it, and then literally, like, I was just like, whoa, is this God speaking to me right now? And then literally at the end of it, it just showed how, like, God didn't leave her alone. Like, how God actually fought for her. And in that moment, like, literally, even though I had been suffering from depression for 6 months, literally at that moment, that was the happiest that I had ever felt. And it was to the point that like I turned on TBN, I had me a praise break session, and my family came home and they were kind of like, why are you so happy? Like, you're the only one in the house. It's kind of creepy. But I can honestly say, ever since that day, my depression like never came back. And I mean, that's only God, because literally I had fought like day and night for it to just stay away, and it would always end up coming back. But literally ever since then, what was it, 2010, August 2010, my depression never came back. My name is Jannel Monroe, and this is my testimony.